Good morning, and thanks for letting me be part of your life for a few brief moments again this week. As promised, we were going to continue talking about the part of grief known as the Foggy Abyss. Last week, we described what that is. It's a place that we retreat to when we are in that heavy, raw, grieving state and we need just a reprieve from the pain. So we kind of forget reality for a while. We force ourselves to go to a place that is neutral, where we simply can be. We don't do a lot of thinking. We don't do a lot of asking questions. We just are. We are in a state of limbo, so to speak. That's what we mean by the foggy abyss. Now, some people will say, well, that's not good. When you're grieving, you need to face things head on. Reality is reality. You need to learn to deal with it. While that's true, timing is really important with grief. If we face too much trauma too soon, we get ourselves into trouble. Our minds and our hearts can only handle so much pain at a time. And therefore, the foggy abyss becomes that all-important place that we go to in our thoughts and in our actions, where we just simply withdraw for a while and we don't do a whole lot of anything, and that's okay. I can well remember following the deaths of both of my sons, going through different stages of being in this foggy abyss. I needed to. There were times when I felt like grocery shopping was too much. I didn't want to face people. I didn't want to face their questions. There were times when church was too much. I didn't want to face church. I didn't want to face people and their questions. I didn't want to hear the songs of worship and praise. I simply wasn't there yet. And so I retreated into this place called the Foggy Abyss. I just went to a place of comfort for myself, just quiet solitude. I walked among nature. I just didn't have it in me to process the whole of everything that had happened. I lost a baby at one point, and I lost an adult son at another time in my life. And both of those were very traumatic events. If you've lost a child, you certainly understand what I'm talking about. The trauma is almost, it feels like it's much more than we're able to bear. And so we have this place of comfort and quiet that we can go to called the Foggy Abyss. That's not unhealthy. In fact, that's very healthy to give ourselves a break from the heaviness of grief. Sometimes people would ask me, well, how do you give yourself a break? You can't take a break from grieving. Well, we can when we kind of put things, the pain, on a shelf, and we simply don't allow ourselves to think of the trauma, of the pain, of what has happened, of any of the details. It's okay to do that for a while. And might I just suggest that this foggy abyss isn't something that we just do one time along in our grief journey. We retreat to this place often. And it's been 8 years now since the death of my adult son. And I find on some days I still have to do this. It's too hard for me to imagine never seeing him again on this earth. And so I have to go to that safe place, that place that is safe for my mind, where I don't think about it. I just retreat. I don't talk about it. I don't think about it. I don't feel it. And then when I re-emerge, I feel more energy, and I'm stronger and more alert and more able to deal with the trauma of the death of a son. You can identify, I am sure, and you know that some days are just harder than others. We have other things going on in our lives. We have other pains. We have sickness. We have relationship problems. We might have money problems. We might have other losses going on, the loss of a parent or the loss of an aunt or an uncle, or, other loss of friends, loss of friendships. We have numerous things going on that all can interfere in some way with our grieving. So it's okay That's the message for today. It's okay to retreat to the foggy abyss. It's okay to go in and out of that place of comfort now and for years to come. That doesn't mean you're set back in your grieving. That doesn't mean you're not handling the grief. That doesn't mean that you're not moving forward in grief. It simply means you're practicing some self-care. Take care of yourselves today. I spent the morning among my flowers. I was digging in the dirt, planting flower bulbs. That is part of my healing journey, which I'll be sharing more with you about that in the months and weeks to come. Take care of yourselves. Find something that you can appreciate in today. Remember that I am thinking of you. I care for you. I understand parts of your grief. I'm right there with you. For today, this is Clara signing off for today's Moments with Clara.